Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of How to Weathering Series, the part of the bigger project called Weathering Philosophy. In this episode we're gonna tackle tracks weathering, but before we start we will have to do a little bit of introduction and explain how I actually create my pigment batches. I'm using 3 pigment batches, the light, medium and dark tone. The starting base is the light pigment. The light pigment is created from the mix of 6 pigments I have in my on my workbench, which I mix to create this light tone, which is the foundation for the medium one, which is tiny bit darker, as you can see, and the last one is the dark tone. The dark tone is created by darkening the medium tone, but the light tone is the absolute foundation. So now you're gonna see the 6 pigments I used to create the light base, which is the foundation. It's the light dust from Ammo by Mick 3002, Airfield dust 3011, Europe Earth 3004, Concrete 3010, Rubble 3013, Sand 3012, and Dark Earth 3007, which is used to create medium and dark tones from the light foundation. So that's what creates my 3 batches of pigments that I use for the weathering when I'm working with pigments. And now we're gonna move on to the tracks, which are the creme de la creme of today's video. So we have a rubber tracks from Zvezda's T3476 prepared for the purpose of this episode. What we're gonna use as the first step of those 3 easy steps is the 3 paints from Life Color for the Rust series. What we're gonna do, we're gonna mix them into a acrylic wash. So we're gonna thin them with water quite significantly, and then we're gonna use sponge in a similar manner as you do the sponge chipping on the surface of the model, but we're gonna apply in a random manner those 3 rusty tones over the tracks that were prepared earlier using the mix of Panzer Grey, German Grey from Tamiya, and Hull Red. As you can see, we are applying the Life Color paints in a form of acrylic wash by randomly applying it with a sponge, which creates a very nice random effect, and after using the hairdryer in a minute you will see what is the outcome. Be as hasty, as random as possible, because we want to avoid a pattern. After drying with a hairdryer, that's the look we're getting, which is a nice foundation for the further pigment work, which we're going to move on to right now. So we start with a light color, the light tone of pigments, sprinkle them over the top and tap them gently directly into the links. Further, we're going to use the medium tone, again sprinkle it on top, this time only sprinkle, and we're also going to use the darker tone to finish the look of the 3 different tonalities that represents different level of moisture of the mud that tank is operating in. Once that's done and we're happy with the variation that we have achieved, we're going to start to apply the fixer. The fixer is from AK Interactive, and this time we're applying it using capillary action. You can see by gently touching the surface how pigment fixer is being soaked by pigments. That gives a strong bond and very strong foundation for the next step. So at the moment we got 2 steps. The first step was applying the rusty tones on the base tracks, applying the first batch of pigments, light, medium and dark, and applying fixer using capillary action. We're going to use the hairdryer and we're going to move to the step number 3. which is applying more pigments, again using all three tones, light, medium and dark, but this time there's going to be a difference in the application of a fixer. As you remember, if you haven't watched, go back and watch it. In the first episode, when we were dealing with turret of the T-34, we used the speckling method for applying the fixer, and in this step number 3 for the tracks weathering, we're gonna again use the same technique. We're gonna use the fixer this time. Instead of using capillary action, we're just gonna speckle the fixer on top of the pigment work that we've just applied. We are getting generous with the fixer because we really want it to soak into the pigments, but we want to avoid flooding it. Once we're happy with the application, we again gonna use the hairdryer to speed up the process, and that's the end result. We got nice variation from using the rusty tones of live color paints, and very nice variation and different texture from the pigments used. The last step is adding a bit of moisture in the center of the track links. You can use that, we can do that by using a AK interactive panel liner colored sepia. It's AK 12021. In this case I'm using this one, which gives us a nice moist center of the track links. And here we see the end result of everything we've done. It's a fairly simple and easy process. It's not taking long, it's relatively easy to control, and it looks fairly realistic, I must say. If you like that form of the video, please leave a comment, like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Bye.